Okay, so if you've spent any time online, you've run into some version of this claim. A secret society, centuries old, quietly pulling the strings behind wars, governments, banks, maybe your local city council for all I know. The Illuminati, the Freemasons, the New World Order. Sometimes all three get mashed into one giant, all-powerful puppet master. Here's the twist though. The real history is genuinely fascinating. It's just not the history most people think it is. I'm Marcus Zane. Let's talk about where this whole thing actually started. So the Illuminati was real. That part's true. But it's also a lot smaller and a lot shorter lived than the myth suggests. It was founded on May 1st, 1776 in Bavaria, that's in modern-day Germany, by a law professor named Adam Weishaupt. He taught at the University of Ingolstadt, and he was frustrated with how much influence the church and the monarchy had over education and public life. So he started a secret society built around Enlightenment ideals, rationalism, secular ethics, resistance to religious and political censorship. He called it the Order of the Illuminati. It grew for a few years. At its peak, historians estimate somewhere between 600 and a couple thousand members across parts of Europe. Not nothing, but nowhere close to a shadow government. And then it just ended. The ruler of Bavaria, Charles Theodore, banned secret societies outright in a series of edicts in 1784 and 1785, specifically naming the Illuminati. Weishaupt fled the country. Documents were seized, members scattered. By the early 1790s, the actual organization was functionally dead. Total lifespan, less than a decade. So if the group barely lasted 10 years, how did it become the supposed engine behind 2.5 centuries of world events? Blame two authors. In 1797, a Scottish physicist named John Robison published a book called Proofs of a Conspiracy. Around the same time, a French Jesuit priest named Abbé Augustin Béruel published a multi-volume work blaming the French Revolution on a secret Illuminati plot. Both books argued the same basic idea, that the Illuminati hadn't actually been destroyed, that it had gone underground, infiltrated Freemasonry, and orchestrated the French Revolution from the shadows. Most historians treat Robison and Béruel's claims as essentially conspiracy theory, written by people who needed an explanation for a revolution that terrified them and found one that felt satisfying. But the idea stuck, and it's been getting recycled generation after generation ever since. Now, the Freemasons get pulled into this constantly, so let's separate fact from myth here too. Freemasonry is real, it's old, and it's genuinely not much of a secret. It traces back to medieval stonemason guilds in Britain, and the modern version, the kind with lodges, rituals, and symbolism, really took shape with the founding of the Grand Lodge of London in 1717. It's a fraternal organization. Members meet, hold ceremonies, and historically it's functioned a lot like a networking and charitable institution. Yes, several U.S. founding fathers were Freemasons. So were plenty of ordinary shopkeepers, doctors, and clerks who just wanted a social club with some ritual flavor to it. The confusion largely comes from Robison and Béruel's claim that the Illuminati had secretly infiltrated Masonic lodges. Some Illuminati members probably were also Freemasons. The two groups drew from a similar pool of Enlightenment-minded, educated men. But some overlap in membership is a very different claim than one organization secretly controls the other. Freemasonry today publishes its own membership rolls in many countries and often opens its lodges for public tours. That's an unusual amount of transparency for an organization supposedly running the planet. So how did an 18th century Bavarian study group become shorthand for modern global conspiracy? The phrase New World Order actually has a mundane origin. Political leaders, including President George H.W. Bush, in speeches around 1990 and 1991, used it to describe the shift in international relations after the Cold War ended. It was meant to describe increased cooperation between nations. But the phrase got picked up and reinterpreted by conspiracy communities as confirmation of a long-planned global takeover. In 1991, televangelist Pat Robertson published a book literally titled The New World Order, which tied the phrase back to, you guessed it, the Illuminati, alongside a chain of older conspiracy theories. It's worth being upfront about something here too. Versions of this conspiracy theory, especially through the 20th century, have often been repackaged with anti-Semitic tropes, recycling old and thoroughly discredited claims about secret Jewish control of banking and government. That's not a side note. It's a big part of why researchers and historians treat the modern Illuminati controls everything narrative so skeptically. It's less a factual claim and more a container that's been repeatedly filled with prejudice over the last century. So here's where that leaves us. The Illuminati was real for about 8 years in one region of Germany with a few hundred members, and then it was shut down. The Freemasons are real, but they're a fraternal organization, not a hidden government. And the New World Order started as a diplomatic phrase before conspiracy communities reinterpreted it into something much bigger and much darker than what was actually said. Is there a secret group controlling the world's governments, wars, and banks from the shadows? No credible evidence has ever shown that. What there is a 200-year-old story that keeps getting reused because it's genuinely a great story. Mysterious founders, secret symbols, a hidden hand behind chaos. It's just not a true one. I'm Marcus Zane. Question the story, not the shadows.